we consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal, we consciously be. No labels, just growth. Domesticated me. Journey to all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticating me. We rise, we heal, we consciously be. No labels, just growth. Domesticated me. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Yeah, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticating me.
Hey y'all.
Tap in. We consciously free.
I am actually sharing my live out. You waiting to know what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing. Share my live out, everybody. Why not? We're building a channel. There's certain things that we have to do. So as we are building our channel, we're trying to get people in the room. We're trying to get people in the room. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome. I am going to be moving along in the show. And right now, what I'm doing, I'm basically sharing it out. But thank you for spending your time with me. Welcome in to Domesticating Me. Y'all know what's up. This is our true crime series that we have named. And yes, we have named the true crime series, and we have named it Stories That Stay With Us, because on our show, we're going to be viewing stories that stay with us while allowing space for people to heal, whether that's our communities or whether that are the people that are directly affected by some of the things that we're going to react to here on our show. Our goal is that we support people in all of our stories, whether it's our journey talks on Saturday or whether it is today where we're kind of reacting to true crime. Today we're going to react to true crime of the verdict of the acquittal of Ricky Chow. We'll give you a little information on that. But I just want to kind of explain a little bit about the show and what we're here for. We are here for healing because we are a motivational, inspirational, inspiring channel. That's what we do. And although we're reacting to various crimes on Friday nights, we still want to make it a healing journey. We still want to talk about things where we can support. It's easy to point fingers, but when you really have somebody that really wants to support our communities in any way that we can, and my one way is really conversations, having the conversations that count, having the honest conversations, the gentle conversations, and sometimes the tough conversations. But that is what the channel was about, and that's why I'm here. And hopefully, very soon, there's some other people in here with me. Okay, so let's listen to our theme song just one more time. Just one more time. Why not?
Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal. We consciously be. No labels, just grow. Domesticated me. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Rise up, tap in. We consciously free. Rise up, tap in. It's domesticated me. We rise, we heal. We consciously be. No labels, just grow. Domesticated me. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind, body, and soul alignment. Welcome to the space where we elevate. Journey, talking all the walks, seeking mind,
Hey there.
body, and soul alignment.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm sitting here trying to share my live out and make sure people know. Let me know where you're in here from, or let everybody know where you're in here from. As we are building a channel. And what I would love for you guys to do for me is to after the show, since you guys are the first two here, and I'll probably be saying it again for those that are as they're coming in. After the show, can y'all do me? Oh, you from TikTok? Okay, love. Well, thank you. Welcome from TikTok. But where are you at in the country? Oh, we got us a North Carolina person in the house. I'm from North Carolina too. And I know why you from North Carolina, because you one of my favorite cousins. But can y'all go back and listen to the beginning? Because the beginning I kind of explained what the show was about. In essence, like this particular true crime series. I got a name for it now. It's the stories that stay with us. Where we're going to be reacting to true crime, but we're still on a healing journey. Like our conversations is going to be about healing, not so much as blaming people or anything like that. But we are going to react to what is happening. And today we're going to react to what happened to down there in South Carolina, Columbia, to Cyrus Carmack. the young boy who lost his life. So this is going to be a sensitive subject because the episode does involve the loss of a life of a child. Um, so if you've heard of that case already, because it is everywhere, put a one in the chat for me if you heard of that case. Okay. So I'm in good company. So well, I wanted to kind of break it down in a couple of things to kind of talk about. A um just what happened is I feel as if what happened is more okay. Let me just keep on task because I can say it like this. So, for those of you that haven't heard of the case, in May of 2023, a 14-year-old boy, Cyrus Carmack, was um, transitioned outside of a convenience store in South Columbia, South Carolina, after being suspected of just taking a bottle of water, which is the hard part. Um, so he didn't actually take the bottle of water. He just, I don't know, but whether he was gonna take it or realize that he was being watched, who knows? But he didn't take it. He didn't have it. And then the store owner, Ricky Chow, chased after this young man, him and his son, about that's the very hard part. About 100 feet, they say. And when he fell, he ended up being transitioned at that time. Um, I think that the okay, so I have my thoughts. So that's like right there. If we just stop right there and just say, this is the point where the young man has basically lost his life. He's on the ground from just that incident, and then we go to the courtroom. Very horrible. And then it's an acquittal. And for me, and my cousin also was here then, but in 1991 here in Los Angeles, we had the same thing happen with one of our young teenagers who was uh, at the time we're teenagers, we're just about, but coming out of it, 2 years out of it or so. Latasha Harlings, she was killed over orange juice, um, transitioned over orange juice by a Korean market owner. It started the riots here um, in Los Angeles at that time. There was a riot. It wasn't as big as um, our last riot that we experienced here in California, but it was a pretty big thing. And it reminds me so much of that case because we're literally talking about orange juice and we're talking about water. We're talking about just ridiculousness to me. I mean, to even be chasing somebody over, to me, I'm like, who wants to break and twist my leg for chasing somebody type thing, right? Over an orange juice or water. Uh, so I guess in these days, come on now, any anything. I chase you over anything. They're back to snatching chains here in Los Angeles. So, now I don't chase you over nothing. Just, if you're that hungry, God got me. Y'all, if you that hungry, God got me. I am cool. Cause this is like, just to make light of it, it's like what was you doing? It was water. If he that thirsty, let him go. You got a whole filling station. And like I was saying on my TikTok one, y'all, this is me being serious though. You know that water was not $1. He didn't pay $1 for that water. And not at all. 20 cents. And probably however many waters he buying, he might even get a deeper discount. We're not even talking about $1 water. We're talking about literally a 20-cent profit loss. If you really want to dig down into it, like, you're going to lose 20 cents for somebody getting a bottle of water from you, bro. Like, come on. But okay. And then you can understand it, hey, people come steal from him because that's what they said. People be stealing from him. And I guess so. That's why I want to talk about the community part of it all. That's my conversation for us today. Is I think that, okay, so let's go to the jury right quick because I want to talk about that, y'all. He didn't even have the water. Watch, he didn't even steal it, right? But let's go to the jury, right? Because the jury acquitted this guy. They heard all the evidence and stuff like that. That could be presented in front of their face. Hey, Jazz, welcome in. Jazz is from Philly, y'all. So the jury got all the evidence they could see. How could the jury, with what we know, if y'all watched any of the things, they literally did chase him down. And they talk about in the news reports that there is one element that you cannot be a part of the problem. Like, you cannot initiate the problem. And I think them running out of the store was the initiation of the problem. Like, why did y'all run after him in the first place? Oh, so you don't understand the jury mindset? Okay, let me tell you what I believe the jury thought. This is my reaction theory on it, right? I believe that the jury was looking for why he was running. Now, this is my look, and y'all know I'll be right. Everybody that follow me, and know that I really be feeling like I have like a I be confirming some stuff. This is what I believe happened. Like, I know that I got I got a gift. And this is what I really believe happened, like deep down inside. With the jury, they needed to know why he was running. And they couldn't put that together because why he was running was this store owner's prior bad acts. This is what I believe. I believe that young man is from that neighborhood, which he is, right? He's from that community. He shops in there, and he's heard what the jury couldn't hear. It's what made him start running. Is that when this guy, because he's done it 3 times. They're in a community, this guy, Ricky Chow, allegedly has been said to have fired on several individuals. At least 3 is what they're saying. So that's why your boy was running, because he heard the stories. But see, the jury didn't hear the prior bad acts and couldn't hear the prior bad acts. That prior bad acts would have never got in, that he had been previously doing that. Hey, Nia. Welcome in, love. Yes. That's what I believe. That is what I believe. Like, to the core, I believe that is why, because they couldn't, because these teenagers, not to try to be like this on these teenagers. Welcome in, everybody. And I want to tell y'all, can y'all do me a favor and go back and watch the first 6 minutes of this video, because it explains what this channel is about. And I'm really trying to brand it where it fits. Like, tonight is true crime. We're reacting, but although we're reacting to this true crime, it is still about a healing journey and a conversation that will help people heal. And for this to be a safe space when people need to heal from tragedy and things like that. And then, of course, the Journey Talks on Saturday is basically the same type of thing, but we're talking about our lives, exclusively. Even though somebody could come on here and something could happen to them in a true crime and it could be their life exclusively, but exclusively over there on Journey Talks, we're going to be talking about embracing experiences tomorrow. That is, this particular channel has its 2 series right now, and I'm going to try to get actually 3 series. I want a soul sister type series where it's like a Sunday school for women. So I'm working on that too. But back to what we were talking about, and thank you guys for being here today. So I really do believe that that's what happened with the jury. I do believe that the jury needed to hear why he was running. And the other thing is, let me tell y'all about juries. And we could take a little poll. We ain't got that many people in here, but we could take a poll real quick. We got 6 people in here. Who wants to go to jury duty that's in here right now? Who does not try to get out of it? Who, when they get their summons, be like, okay. Hey, cousin, I'm over here fixing computer storage issues. Okay, baby. Thank you so much for coming in, though. Because I'm going to tell you, I have another theory. Yeah, they had 8 black folks, but that doesn't make a difference. And that's where I'm coming. That's exactly where I'm going to, Marcellus. That's exactly where I'm going to. Okay, Mimi, you always get out of it. You don't want to be on one, right? Right? You don't want to be on one. Right? Okay. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter if they don't get rid of us or get rid of us. Let me tell you, no matter. And this is what happened in this case too, right? You never have people that want to be on juries. Most of the people that want to be on juries do not be totally critical thinkers or anything of that nature whatsoever. They don't. They don't. They don't. And because they don't trust. Okay, so one of the reasons why most critical thinkers don't want to do it is because we got too much going on. We got too much stuff. We got our job. We got this. We got that. We don't want to do it. Right. And so the other part that could do it, that don't want to do it, that would do it well, if we're talking about what y'all talking about, just skin color, would be militant people. But militant people don't want to do jury duty either because they don't trust the government. So now you're left with this subset of group of people, and you know how we are, y'all. We is not finna play that. We will not make the whole building. We won't hire the whole building to look like us. We don't act like that. Like our culture. So it could be many of us on the jury as it wants to be. We gonna try to be fair because we want to be everybody's friend. So all of that was no representation of his peers, whoever was on the jury. Because if it was a representation of his peers, they would have came up with the scenario I came up with, that he was running for a reason. He'd have nothing in his pocket. So why was he even running in the first place? Even though we know they couldn't hear it. They didn't know why he was running. But I guarantee you that young man was running because of the prior bad acts that he knew of this guy. And that is for real, for real. And yeah, they don't. But at the end of the day, it don't matter. That just got proved. It was 8 on this jury. That's the point I'm making. I'm not trying to say, oh, cousin, no, they don't let us on. I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying there's also a subset of us that don't even try to get on. I try to get on. I always have. I've been on 2, as a matter of fact. I always be trying to get on juries. I want to get on juries. I ain't gonna lie. I want to be the fair and impartial one. I want to be the one in there saying, hey, that doesn't even make any sense. That little traffic one I was on with the guy who, they said was drinking and driving. I was like, no, I could just tell he was Ned the Wino type thing. And he fell asleep in his car to get him some rest. But the rule is, if the car got the key in, the ignition, then even if you trying to, chill in your car in the parking lot, you drinking and driving because the key is in the ignition. So I had to convict him on that. He wasn't DUIing, but he had that key in the ignition, and that's what the law is. We need to try. Look, mad church disease. Stop, y'all. This is the reason why you got to stop trying to get out of jury duty, is because if you're a sensible individual, you can really look at all things, even the things that you don't hear. This is why, even if the state had to prove, the state had all of the burden on this guy, right? They proved the first burden is, why was y'all chasing him? He didn't have anything. He didn't have nothing. Why was y'all chasing him? So to me, that was element number one. And element number one was, the person cannot be the fault of it. Like, you're the fault of it. Why are you chasing this kid? So that's my thought process as to why. But I also know to why is just that there was no critical people like this on here, because we are always trying to get out of it. Like, for the most part, there was probably people summons to go to that would have seen through the whatever that Devance was saying, that wasn't just focusing on, well, he had a gun in the end. He had a gun in the end. That's all they focused on. No, y'all would have hung that sucker. Y'all would have hung it, me. That's what I'm saying. Y'all might can't convince y'all, but I'll hang it. I almost hung that DUI one, y'all. I promise you. Because I was like, no. It wasn't until we got all the way down to that last element, which was the key in the ignition. That's the law here. And I don't even know how they do it now, because we don't, key don't go in no ignition no more, but that's the law. It don't matter. You could be in a parking lot. You could be anywhere. That's the law. So I know that, you can go like that, but I just think that the jury got it wrong. And at first I was saying, I just thought that maybe he was overcharged, so the jury didn't understand. But after I kept listening to it, I was like, no, I believe the jury was overcharged. I mean, I believe the jury just got it wrong. I believe the first element, the state did prove the one of the elements that they needed to prove. And that Ricky Chow, I mean, the son, he seemed like he was lying, y'all, on the stand. Look, I don't want to make this up, so this is all allegedly what I say. But because we found out about the prior bad acts that didn't get in, right? We know that it was prior bad acts that did not get in on this case. We're gonna get to when I talk about the community part. We're gonna get to that, y'all, because that's my goal, is to get to the healing part. How we as community can begin to heal some of this tragedy that shouldn't be happening anyways, and how we can be a part of that. But he was lying though. This is what I believe, y'all. Though y'all want to know my other conspiracy theory besides the one I just said, I believe, since I know his prior bad acts, that he does that. I think that they already talk about it as a family. We would never be able to prove that, or no one would ever be able to prove that. But I believe they already talk about that as a family. About what to say if anything like that happens, is to say that's what they saw, regardless if it's true or not. Because to me, I started lifting up his hoodie and all of that to try to see, to do some this, that, and the other thing, tells me that you're the one that when you lifted up his hoodie, that's when it came out. That's when y'all saw it. The guy never pulled anything out. He fell. He never pulled anything out. That I can't believe. I believe that when you start touching that hoodie, that's when it came out. Because if he wanted to pull one on you, why wouldn't he have put one on you right where he was? Like, because he wasn't trying to pull anything on you. He was trying to run. That's the most sad part about it. So there I go there with that. That's how I kind of, that's my take on that. What's y'all take? What do y'all think happened? Like with the jury and what, why they didn't do. I don't think he ever put that out either with me. I think that when he started messing with his jersey, because he said that I went and lifted up his sweatsuit, sweatshirt, and all of that. That's probably when it fell out. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I really believe. It's just, and the whole thing about I wish I would have been on there because we wouldn't have. I'd have hung it. I know I would have hung it without even knowing that this guy did this other thing. I would have hung it over not knowing why the kid started running. He didn't have nothing. Why did he start running? If y'all saying that y'all didn't know nothing about no type of weapon until the end, then why did he run? I could see if he brandished it you on something or something to that effect. But no, he ran because you was known for doing that in the neighborhood. That's why that civil suit is coming for Ricky Chow. A civil suit is coming for Ricky Chow. He's gonna lose that. Mr. Rick Chow, you're gonna lose whatever that civil suit is, and you're gonna have to pay that family. Right. He was running, failed, and unalive. Yes. 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 I'm telling you, it was 8 non-critical thinking Black jurors. Because if you would have had one critical thinking Black juror on that jury, they would have hung it. They would have hung it. I'm telling you what we had, cousin. You gotta hear me when I'm telling you. This is what it is, y'all. This is what it is. You had 8 non-critical thinking jurors on the jury. I'm telling you, because I don't see how they could have done it either. You had eight brothers and or sisters on the jury, and you guys are. And he didn't never brandish nothing. He didn't never pull nothing out. The only other reason he could have been running was they was talking about they was going to call the popo on him, and he knew what he had. So he wasn't running towards them. He was running away from them. So if chasing them is not part of your own fault, I don't know what part of your own fault means. Part of your own fault is, why was you chasing him? Okay, y'all. This has been going on for years in our communities. We know it, right? And okay, so I'm going to do this disclosure too, right quick, because I don't want anybody to think I'm quote unquote picking on them, because I'm not. I love all people. So I'm not picking on the Asians or anything like that. I'm just going to tell a story. And then that story is going to allow us to understand why in our communities there are certain things that are necessary now. Right now, they're calling it the Asian and Black boycott. And I'm not typically for that, like just boycott anybody. I've already said that. I'm not really for that. I'm not really for boycotting everybody. I don't want, somebody to do something to a 55-year-old dark-skinned Black woman with gray hair, and then all of a sudden I'm throwing the box with them like this is who you are too. No, I'm not technically for that. However, what I am for is boycotting those places that dead on well, them Asian places that don't treat you well. You know who they are. You know what they're saying. This guy, Ricky Chow, has prior bad acts where he has talked about been disrespectful to his community, disingenuous with his community, even so much as went and also fired on other people in the community. It's up to 3 allegedly that he has actually did this to. But the jury couldn't hear those other prior bad acts, because if that is something like flat out, right? And so you don't need to be no critical thinker for what's flat in your face. But you would have had to do some little bit of critical thinking to say No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I need to know. And you don't even need to say that out loud. That's just who you be. I'm just telling the truth. And sometimes black folks, y'all gotta stop playing, y'all gotta stop quote unquote playing fair, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to be like that, but now I'm not, come on, make it make common sense. This young man he didn't have nothing in his pocket and he was running. I think everybody was. They said it was a shocking verdict. It was an O.J. Simpson verdict. They like, what? They like on the Beretta guy. What? That they really, this is how they was looking, because it really doesn't even make sense. Like, but I'm telling you what you had. You had somebody up there just non-critically thinking about, they focused on one thing. Why did he even at that age have a weapon? But you live in the hood. What? And he probably had the weapon for one of his ops. I don't know. Maybe it was, but it sure wasn't for them, because he didn't pull it on them. It wasn't for them. He was running away from them. It wasn't for them. Whoever it was for, it wasn't for them. It was probably for someone that looked like him. That's the sad part about it. But let's get back to what I was saying about the community. Y'all, even if that store is on your corner, if when you go in there, they act as if they don't care for you, don't go in there no more. Y'all remember when we used to go to the swap meet here in California, or any of the places that you may be from, and these people of different cultures followed you around the store? Do y'all remember that? Do you remember when they wouldn't hire any of us to work with them? Even if you needed a little job, you couldn't get hired at any of these swap meets, any of these corner stores, any of this stuff. And when you went in there, they would come from behind the counter on you. Yeah, he was running scared. Do y'all remember that? But what did we do? We still made these same people rich. We still went to their swap meets. We still bought the t-shirts from them. We still made the same people that didn't care for us rich out of whatever reason, convenience, whatever it is. We still went there. And they would follow us around, y'all. Don't go to the stores that treat you as such. But I would say okay, so that's what I'm saying. And we know it does, because we just seen this case. You can call me Jazz. So that's why I'm going to. Don't go there. Don't go there. You go into a place and one of these nail technicians is calling one of the sisters a black bee and all that old type of stuff because she whatever. Don't get your nails done there. Just don't do it. Don't go to the beauty supply houses that when you come in, they come from behind the counter. They're suspicious. Paranoid. This guy was paranoid, so much so that he ended up transitioning a 14-year-old boy because of his paranoia. He was paranoid. And that's what they are. They paranoid. They think all of us are thieves. Everybody's stealing from them, Paranoid, y'all. I'm telling you. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And I say that make stand for something. And that is proactively protecting the children, proactively protecting the community from people like Rick Child. He was paranoid. He got all this high class equipment that do face recognition and everything. A wall of shame for everybody that was stealing from him. So that means he was on them. And then he like the big box stores, he had the thing. No, y'all. No. That's why we got to just stop it. Turn around and walk right out. Be like, oh, okay, I'm out. You should, but I guarantee you, you'll start missing some of that. And then telling your friends too, don't shop there. Well, I'm gonna tell you why they really like that. A lot of them. It's something that happened systemically during Reaganomics. If y'all never heard, there was a tape that when they were coming and stimulating the economy and all of that, and all of them start coming when they first start coming, and coming into the neighborhoods and getting all of the being able to open up all the small businesses and owning all the little stuff in the developments like the swap meets and stuff like that. They was being shown videotapes on who we are, this culture, and why we can't be trusted, this culture. Yes, absolutely. Carly, absolutely. We have to say no. Right. And if the civil thing don't go through, I know that. But I'm telling you, they used to show videotapes, and I might have told this story on one on before on TT probably, but I had a friend who owned a water store right on the 2 blocks from where I lived when I lived in South Los Angeles. He became my friend because I used to wash my clothes and get water from him. He was a Korean, and we was talking, and he told me all this information. He told me a lot of stuff over the different years. I would go there. I learned why they were in bubble shoes. I learned a lot about Asian people. But he was cool. He was cool. When I say cool, he was cool. If something happened to one of the washing machines, he would be, I went to go wash one of my blankets recently. I'd never go back to that washing place again. This guy know that his machine ate my money and would not give me my money back. He know it ate my money. And I was like, I'm not even gonna worry about it. He was like, but I started it. I don't have any more washing powder now. I put it in there twice. Well, 2 different machines went bad on me. So I don't have I was putting my pods in there. I don't have them to wash no more. He will not give me my money back. I say, okay, bro. I ain't gonna act like I'm supposed to act up in here. I ain't gonna act like this over my $4. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be. I believe that too, Carly. I believe that too. I believe something's going on with that. I believe something's going on with that. But they already got their protection bill. Y'all better leave those agents alone. you know, right, right. Hey, Mimi, hey, if you were still here, it's the same way. You got to, you know, I got the when I go get like my little lottos or whatever, like a little store for things like that. I go, they Indian. I go to the people, they Indian. You know, uh, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. And I don't think that we should carte blanche block anybody. Honestly, I think that whole protest against the whole Asian people, I think that's the weirdest thing I ever heard. Because everybody is not like that. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want nobody doing that to me. I literally, some things you can't do the golden rule on, but I guess literally, like, no, I'm with the golden rule on some things. I wouldn't want nobody looking at me and throwing me in no box and saying that, oh, because you look like a certain thing or you come from a certain race, you're a certain person. And I ain't doing it either. Like, no. Boycott the people that need to be boycotted. Get them out of your communities, because the way I look at it, Rick Chow, or whatever his name is, should have been out of that community. Rick Chow should have been out of that community, y'all. Y'all know y'all could come up and use y'all voice. Um, if I could find a link to give to y'all. Hold on. Um, um, okay, there you go. There go the link, y'all. If y'all want to go on the link, y'all. I mean, there go the link. Anybody can come up if you want to come up. So that's me. That's really how I feel about the whole jazz, about the whole conversation. I'm getting better, cousin. I'm telling you, I'm getting better about the whole thing. Like I think that I'm not doing that. Mm-mm. Now I do corporations though, y'all. I do corporations. I stop shopping at a at a court. If y'all, if whoever your top person is doing something, whatever that means, everybody under y'all get the boo y'all. Everybody under y'all get the boo y'all. It can't nobody support that type of thing. And if I was one of those picket people, I would be out there boycotting against corporations. 95 going south. 95 going south. But I support boycotting corporations in silence until one of them make me mad enough to do them in. I got one on my list that I'm probably gonna let have it, but I gotta wait on that. I gotta be very strategic. But I got one on my list. So, guys, what do y'all say? What do y'all say? Tell me. Get up here. Get up here and tell me what y'all say. And I would say, um, when I first started talking about this, I kind of got a little bit, you know, of that sadness energy, empathetic energy, because it just came upon me. So be a reflection on your grief when you hear things like this, or when have a reflection on how you feel over things like this that is happening, and what is it that you can honestly do in your communities to allow yourself to heal, but also allow some of your people in your community to heal when things like this has happened. Once again, it could go all bad, and we don't want that. It doesn't even solve anything. Like us, in 1991, what happened here really didn't solve any race relations here. It really didn't stop people from wanting to discriminate against a certain group of people because they see them or view them in a certain way. All of them are thieves. All of them are, druggies, or whatever the case may be. And guys, this is why belief is so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You got to know some stuff. Your beliefs are so dangerous that you could really hurt hurt yourself and hurt others. Welcome to the stage, Mad Church Disease.
What's up, cousin? What's going on, cousin?
What you do? What's going on? What is going on? You say you was having computer issues down there?
Oh, this has been a day. This has been a day. I tell you, just make sure if you save and back up all your data and your videos, just make sure you get you some good external drives, because I have been having a day. I've been having a day today. But it's good to come up here. I just wanted to add this point because I've sat in a lot of court hearings and I've learned a lot, because my favorite thing is crime dramas. And I don't know if most people know that the jury instructions are that the two sides come together to determine what the jury instructions are going to be. And that's one of the things that, most people miss that part. because if the language is so ambiguous that you almost have, sometimes you have to vote in a way that you wouldn't normally vote because of how things are worded, and the wording is key. And believe it or not, before they hand this stuff off to the jury, they battle just on the jury instructions. They go through a whole fight just to determine how the words and the questions are going to be written.
Yep.
And that's the thing with me. That's why I think this whole system is wicked, because you're not really trying to get to the truth. You're not really trying to, to hold up the truth. You just want whoever wins, whoever is slick enough.
It's ain't nothing but a daggone debate. Cousin.
Right. Exactly. Because if you slick enough, you can get past a whole lot of stuff and then end up being found innocent when you really guilty. It's crazy.
Who can argue the best? That's why I call it an argument.
I've seen it over and over again. I went one time in San Bernardino. I was sitting in a custody hearing for a husband and wife who was going through their teenage daughter. They were trying to determine who was going to get custody for the daughter. And I was sitting there listening at this. The husband's attorney asked the little girl questions. So she's a teenager. She's like 14, 15 years old. So I'm sitting there watching them ask her the questions. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, you're wording these questions. And this is the key. I swear to y'all, I've seen this so much. They word the questions to trick you and that's why, let me tell you something. My advice to you, if you ever have to go to court, ask them to repeat the question or to reword the question 12 million times. Because see, here's the thing. They're going to ask you the question a certain way to elicit a certain type of response from you. And if you are not savvy enough, now this is the thing that got me with the son. Now, as much as we think he was lying and stuff, that young man was quite savvy. He was a really good liar. Because I was like, he is good.
That's what leads me to my assumption, because I'm only assuming this, that his reckless behavior, the dads, they already rehearsed this.
Right.
It didn't matter who it was. It just so happened to be this baby. They rehearsed that.
Well, let's tell the truth, Nate.
Not rehearsed it for the scene, but rehearsed it for if ever this happened, this is what we're going to have. We always see a pupil.
Okay, but let's get this. It don't matter what side it is. You're going to rehearse it with your lawyer anyway. Because see, that's the other element that most people leave out. You don't realize, but your attorneys are going to drill you and ask you these questions even before you get on the stand. So they already know what your answer is going to be. So here's the key. And this is why I say it's all bull jive to me.
Me too.
It's all bull jive. Here you go. You're going to ask this young man all of these preemptive questions so that you can elicit a certain kind of response. And then for a fact how he's going to answer. So, that's why the other side has always got to try to throw a wrench in this situation and throw you off of your conditioned answers, because everybody has all of those conditioned answers. And if you don't throw the other person off, that's how they're just going to give you like Pavlov's doll. They're just going to repeat it off and it's going to sound really good. But mentally they're disconnected from their answers, because if you can't trip them up with the truth, then you're going to be in trouble. That's why I hate this system. I ain't going to lie. I hate it. I just hate it.
Yeah. To me, I feel as if, and another thing, if you here in the state of California, that there are some attorneys here that didn't have to pass that state bar. They got a pass and they didn't actually pass the bar. True story. Happened here a couple of years ago. I know somebody that's a lawyer now didn't pass the state bar. So
how they do that? Did they? Because I thought
it was something in the law that they got to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because I know that happened. Yeah. Because I know they had this thing where you don't have to go to law school as long as you pass the bar. So you can study for the bar and never even have to attend law school. As long as you pass it, you're a lawyer.
Yeah, well, here in the state of California, because this person actually failed the bar a few times. I promise you. And when it happened, I was like, oh my God, now you got to start asking the attorney, hey, did you actually take the California state exam. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you don't really have to take it no more if you do so many hours. It's a whole new thing. But we always vote something in we don't know we voted in.
Right. Yeah.
Um. But yeah, I heard that on Celsius. Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I know. I physically worked with somebody that ended up resigning because she was one of these people. So now she works as a lawyer.
And making
She's
way more money because them
yeah,
billable hours is killer, boy.
yeah. But she's one of these people that got that special thing.
And she white too, isn't she?
Hispanic.
Huh. I wonder, do they pay for that? Because to be honest with you, the bar first. Well, wait a minute. Okay, let's roll this back just a second. How are you going to practice law and you didn't pass the bar? Because the bar demands that you have to have continuing education. You have to know the law. How are you then going to be able to try a case?
Marcellus, I really truly don't know what they did, but I promise you, if you do some research on it, you probably could find it. And I'm saying
My
maybe
God
this
from
happened
Zion.
maybe 4 years ago
Mm.
when it actually happened, where they were getting their credentials or whatever, their esquires, but never
Mhm.
passed the bar. It was you had that went through law school and you had some other things had to have happened, to connect the dots. But if you connected the dots, you did not have to pass the state bar.
Mm. Well, I think with this case, there's so many mitigating factors that say to me this man should have been found guilty.
Yeah, me
Let's go back just for a second. Let's concentrate on something that you mentioned that I think is a point that everybody needs to think about. He spent thousands and thousands of dollars on facial recognition software. People need to understand that isn't cheap. You're not even in a great neighborhood, in a great area. You're in the middle of nowhere, on almost darn near on a dirt road. You understand what I'm saying? You're in South Carolina. Okay, and I'm not
Columbia.
right, right. I'm not disrespecting anybody in South Carolina. Understand my point?
We love y'all.
Right. You're in South Carolina with facial recognition software in a store where you sell waters for $1. Think about that for a second. And you have to end up chasing a customer out over a $1 bottle of water. You shoot them in the back. And then here we are.
I think it's wild. I think it's the wildest thing I have ever heard of. I just don't really understand it. I'm like, and then after I heard about the prior bad acts, mad church disease. I said, now this right here is the problem. I believe is also a problem with the judicial system. Some of the stuff that people do need to be available for the jury to hear. Because I believe if anybody would have heard that, there was no way that man would not have been convicted.
Absolutely. And that's what they think. Okay, that prejudices the jury. But
you're damn right. They need to be prejudiced.
Right. But here's the thing. There are certain things that I feel like should, honestly, if your prior bad acts are similar to the acts that you're on trial for, I think that those things should be allowed in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when I look at some of these court cases, I'd be like, okay, I don't even understand why y'all letting this in. Because some things they let in just because they're trying to influence the jury, right?
Yeah, make you a bad person.
Right. And so that part I get. But when you have a history of chasing customers, being disrespectful to certain types of customers and only certain types of customers, and you had different acts that you've done, those things I think should be, in my opinion, they're in the legal
term.
They're
relevant.
The legal term is germane. They say this is germane to the issue. And I think that's the legal term. It is a germane situation, and they should be allowed to bring those things in. I'm sorry.
Let Jermaine in the room. Let Jermaine up in the room.
Yeah, I believe
because
that.
You haven't priorly fired on 3 other customers before, regardless of what it is that they did. You haven't done that.
Right.
Should be relevant.
Absolutely. Well, just let's give it this scenario. let's say you have a man on trial right now for murdering his wife. Unaliving his wife. I'm sorry. Let me correct my language. Unaliving his wife. Here's the thing. If he's on trial for unaliving his wife and he had other women that he's harmed, and those other women have had to take out restraining orders and all sorts of things on him because he stalked them and so forth, that is germane to the reason why he's on trial, because he's on trial for unaliving a woman. He has prior bad acts, or I believe the legal term is predicate acts. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. They call it predicate acts. You have a history of doing this. And if you have a history of doing this, you deserve to go down. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
I mean, but the other reasons was probably for the same thing, though, because at the end of the day, he had this whole wall of shame thing going on. Like you got this whole, all these people that you caught that you didn't catch. You know what I'm saying? Because you got them because you got this high class equipment. So really now you on the wall of shame. Yeah, we caught you putting that donut in your pocket. We seen you because this is like a convenience store. There's nothing in that convenience store. You know, like one of my friends said earlier, including the gas, as high as it is, that was worth that boy life.
Well, and I bet you anything, and I hate to go here, but the whole time I was watching this case, I said, I wonder, is this Mr. Child Man consider himself a Christian? Because everybody in this country thinks themselves as being da-da-da. And I'm sitting here this boy was thirsty. The Bible says, when I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. And this son of a gun is chasing a guy out of a store for a bottle of water. I bet you anything this man defines himself as some kind of religious person. I guarantee it.
Well, at the end of the day, the son say, what the son say? I thought my dad had missed. That is why I looked and I seen that it was a hole and I lifted up the sweatshirt. I think that's when the pew pew fell out.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that's why I say that's a workable theory. And if I'd have been in that jury room, I'd be like, you know what, that makes sense. That just makes sense. But see, that's why you need critical thinking people on jury.
You do. That's what you got to be, a critical thinker. You can't be up there with that. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because they don't be knowing. I'm telling you. And not to be funny, but the clear people, they be ready to convict. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they want to go home. That's how I do it was. They be ready to convict.
You know why? $12 a day or $20 a day. It'll make you want to hurry up and get somebody on out of here. We've been in here, especially if you're sequestered for like a month or 2 weeks. You've been making $20 a day for a month, and nobody's gonna make up the difference of your salary. You darn right. Guilty. Everybody guilty. Get me out of here. I'm ready to go. Are you kidding me? I'm for real though. That's serious,
me too.
serious business.
I know so many people that say that and every time somebody tell me that, cousin, I say the same thing. I say, you know what? Maybe you should be on there, because the problem with the verdict, if you ask me, was that was not a jury of the victim's peers,
right?
Or and to be honest, it wasn't a jury of the daggone defendant's peers either.
But when you say
it wasn't
peers,
the right jury, they picked the jury raggedy.
But I'll be honest with you. I think in America, it's virtually impossible to get a jury of your peers. And here's why. They just came out with a statistic. I think yesterday, the day before, I heard the average American has only read 4 books since they've graduated from high school. From beginning to end, the average person in this country has read 4 books since they've graduated from high school. How are you going to get a jury of your peers with people who are thinking like that?
Well, guess what then, cousin? Me, you, and your cousin in the chat, we not average.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
But you're dealing with people who don't read 4 books. They said the average person in this country has only read 4 books since they've graduated from high school.
What?
I'm just saying. That's what they said. They said, and you know what? I'm gonna Google it because I'm gonna make a whole thumbnail out of that. I'm about to travel with that. I'm like, why you don't read? Because I tell people every month, why don't you sit down and read a book? Find something to read other than the Bible, because that's what I always end
for
with.
real. I need to be on the train on why don't you read?
The average person, they said in America, only 4 books since they've graduated from high school. I was shocked by that, but that explains a lot. Because Daryl Moore, if you remember, you know who Daryl is. Daryl always says to me, Nay, he's always like, Daryl says, these people ain't got.
Stop lying, y'all.
But it's the truth. It's literally the truth. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna Google it.
That's what your cousin said, Mimi. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said I wanted to be on the you need to read train. So he could be you need to read, and I could be you need to read too.
Hold on, let me see where they got that. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can Google it.
That's
crazy, isn't it? That's honestly, I love stuff like this. This is my stuff.
You got to be the great debater, and to get some of this stuff off. Because look, y'all, even if y'all think about the O.J. Simpson child, you know what got him off? That one statement.
Because it stuck with the jury. It stuck with the jury.
That one statement got OJ off. If it doesn't fit, you gotta quit.
Absolutely.
Because everybody in the world think that man guilty, except for me. I really don't think OJ did it, y'all.
Well, I don't. Well, when you say guilty, let me clarify how I'm defining guilty. I think he's guilty in the sense of he knows who murdered them.
Oh, yeah. I think he knows, but I don't think he physically did it. Yeah, I think that's the part they got wrong. And I think when old boy that just recently transitioned, the cop started planting that evidence, that's what sealed the face. Because he did plant evidence, but he didn't have to. He just needed to do his job.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I got to find out where I pulled that because I'm looking at so many darn statistics from these other websites. But yeah, that was a shocker to me yesterday. But honestly, I would not be in a room with O.J. Simpson alone. That's an unstable kind of situation. I'm just being honest, Nay. Like, I'm not staying nowhere near O.J. Simpson in a room by myself. He's a murderer, and I'm just not doing that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I have a hard time sleeping, just falling asleep around people. Can't imagine. You know what I'm saying? That's
I don't want to twist topics and everything, but y'all know that man Murdoch, the Murdoch guy. Yeah. That Murdoch guy, he gonna have another trial, y'all, because somebody said some stupid stuff. A clerk.
Yeah,
they give that man a whole new trial over that.
They weren't gonna do that.
They giving that man a whole new trial. Marcellus.
Well, they said even if he gets a whole new trial, because of the other laws that he broken and how much time they gave him for the other crimes he committed, he'll never get out of jail.
They were thinking about not prosecuting him because of the money. But so you're right.
Yeah, if they waste the taxpayer dollars for that crap again. See, that's why I say this whole system is wicked. Now, why would you get that man another trial? He blew his family away, and we all know he blew his family away.
And ain't nothing else to talk about. Ain't nothing else to talk about.
Paul Mooney say you got the complexion for the protection. I just can't take it. And this is why, what's his name?
Who gonna get off? That Murdoch guy? You think that Murdoch guy gonna get off if he went back to trial, Mimi?
Nah. Nope.
Nah, it's too much evidence that put him, because he lied too much. It's like, why did you lie like that? Like you wasn't there. Now all of a sudden you got caught. Oh, I was there. Like, no, no.
Right. But see, Nay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like James Baldwin says, to be black in America is to literally walk around in a constant state of rage.
Ooh.
When you look at, and it's tough because you don't want to be that way. Because I'm not a person who always leans on race. I don't look at race.
Me neither.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the types of equality and inequality,
yes.
When you see that. Now it's just like, come on, you all.
You
like,
can't help but be like, okay,
this is ridiculous.
Like, that's not me, but okay. You can see that is definitely some weird, dumb stuff. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, y'all. And it's like beholden type stuff. This Chud the Builder guy, that right there is like the most dumbest thing I ever thought that somebody would even want to do, like want to engage people in that type of way. It's like on purpose for clicks and views. Like,
But God's got a way, because he ain't never getting out of jail. That judge wouldn't even let him. That judge said, I don't care if you do got $1 million. You ain't going nowhere.
not from those million. He was basically saying that the guy Alex, the one that came and said he had all this, he said, well, if your friend Alex want to put up $1 million, then we could talk, but you can't get it from these casino people or these people overseas.
Right.
That's money laundering.
Yeah, it's criminal activity. You trying to get out of criminal with criminal activity. It makes no sense. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Going forward, when you see cases like this, to me, you know, it sets a precedent. And it continue to says to young Black Americans and young people in the country that your life is not valuable. When I see this, it looks at me, it looks to me to just say your life doesn't mean a thing. How do you tell generations, and how do you tell people that your life has value? And think about this, Nate, because that's what
you
we
can't tell nobody anything no more. And that's a great place to tell y'all again what the name of this true crime series is. It's called Stories That Last. Like these gonna stay with us. These are stories that are gonna stay with us. So remember, that's what we're gonna be talking about on this show. It'll be stories that are gonna make impacts and how we can make a community impact through healing. When we talk about these true crime stories, we always want to we always want to have our show to be impactful in a way that is meant to heal and come up with some type of solution, if not for your whole community, at least for you and your family. So yeah, go ahead, cousin.
That was good. That was good. You know, so I agree, you know, and I think, you know, when you watch these stories, you know, a lot of these stories are impactful. And, you know, and I got to tell you about, I don't know, I can't remember the young man's name. I used to carry his picture on my phone all the time because it's one of these stories that stayed with me that has never left me. I just can't remember the young man's last name. I think it was Bronner. He went, they put him in jail in New York for like several years for a crime he didn't commit. And I mean, the young man ended up committing suicide. I used to literally keep his picture on my phone because that story like hit me.
Because his family didn't even know he was in jail either, huh?
That is correct.
It was, I remember that.
They hid him in there like as a form of punishment. And so nobody knew he was in there for all that long time. And he ended up like going crazy. They put him on medications and things, you know, that to me, but this is what they call the justice system. You know, this man just shot an unarmed Black boy in the back for a bottle of water that he didn't even have. And he's back at home, and you want to call that justice. Now, honestly, I feel like if we would have had a Democrat in office, I think the federal government would have maybe picked up the case, you know, because the way that these cases are charged, the DOJ can pick it up, even though he might have, you know what I'm saying? You know, with the state or whatever says that he's not guilty. If my memory serves me right, the feds can still pick it up. So that's the thing, you know, but it's a trip.
So Marcellus, like, what is an actionable item that we can leave today with? Like, like, what is actionable thing that we could do?
Don't go into an Asian store and look like you want some water and you're thirsty. No, I'm kidding.
No, for real. Don't go into that one. For real. You know, because I was talking to my son about this, and he said, you know what, you know, we're in a simulation anyways. Like, come on. Miss Latasha Harlings back in 1991 that started the riot here in Los Angeles. This is the same thing, basically.
Well, you know what? I've been having this thought now, see, and I don't mean to go here, but I'm like, this is hell. There can't be a hell to go to because this is some bullshit. You understand? I'm like, there can't be no hell to go to, and I got to go through all of this being Black, and then you're gonna turn around and judge me again. So not only do I got to be judged by the other devils, but when I close my eyes for eternity, I'm supposed to be judged by somebody else. like, wait a minute.
Something about the story might not just be right.
Wait a minute. I've been judged my whole damn life. I'm like, wait a minute.
All your life.
This is crazy.
And you might not see when the first become last and the last become first on the earth.
Yeah, no. Listen, I ain't even wait for all of that. I'm just, listen here. At this point, I'm just trying to freaking make it survive, and not let these people kill me or put me in jail. Because the way this system is set up is, all, the majority of us, they want to put us inside of the system some kind of way, or they want to put us in jail. And I feel like they just want to put us in the system so they can track us. I really do.
Well, at the end of the day, what ultimately happened was the destruction of the Black family. We all understand that when the penitentiary was enacted, so it's the new Jim Crow. If you ain't never read that book, read that book.
Oh,
That's
that was a great book.
I
think we was reading that one together at one time. That was a great book.
I'm telling you, she did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, that you can't get this whole you can't get this whole free labor. So we're going to do this another type of way where it's also going to cause a twofold. I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm not just saying this because I am this. The Black woman tricked the system because it didn't take us all the way down because of the strength of the Black woman. And when the men were being stripped out of the house so they can go to the penitentiary, and then it became a fad to go to the penitentiary. So now that's all that we see. Somebody had to be there to kind of hold it up. Why the strength still is in the culture today. It just is what it is. Big Mama had to exist. And so that toughness of Big Mama, the one that now is causing, and I know I'm getting off topic, but I'm gonna say this, that is causing the Black man and the Black woman to clash is ridiculous to me too. Because had there not been a Big Mama that was real masculine and ready to hold it down, no telling.
But that was all too by design.
Right, by design. They did it all by design.
Yeah, all that was by design.
And so now when you say what you just said, that that's what they trying to do, it's a continuation of what they tried to do. And now they are the second part to that, once again, is if you go on these internets or and you look at this stuff, they are pitting us against one another so bad it is ridiculous. You should see
when you talking about people in general or just Black people?
Blacks, the female and the male. It is ridiculous. That's part of the new plan, is to get us to not care for each other.
But that's just because I feel like a lot of people just they devalue other individuals. And I think we become so desensitized because of social media. That's how you can shoot an unarmed young man in the back, because you devalue his life. You don't consider him worthy of anything. But I think the system is set up, if you think about it, it's brilliant, because whoever
Marcellus, could that have been the reverse?
Absolutely not.
That boy could have turned around, fell on the ground, and actually pewed him. No. Even with him having a weapon in his hand. No. And they say
no. You got to think about how look at the cases that we're seeing now with all these Black men getting out of jail because of DNA. They find out that these people never committed these crimes, and then they give them $1 million and say, "Oh, you was only in jail for 30 years.
You took all my time."
Exactly. You here take $1 million, and half of them don't even live that long after they give them the money because of their health. Because people have to keep this in mind too. When you go to prison, you're not getting the best health care. I think people think, oh, they're just getting the best kind of treatment. No, you're getting the worst of the worst kind of healthcare. You're not getting no great healthcare, but but I think it's all by design. But here's what I was going to say too. If you look at Donald Trump, his assault was completely on Black women, because he understood that Black women are the nucleus of the Black family in our society now. You understand what I mean? He attacked Black women because he knew if he could attack Black women, he's going to get to the Black man and he's going to get to the Black family. He knew that. And that's one of the reasons why they're doing what they're doing. 600,000 Black women lost their jobs in America. That's over
Yeah,
half a
yeah.
million.
Doing it on purpose too.
Yeah, it's
Pushing on
crazy.
purpose.
Yeah, so I
And
feel
it's
you.
sad. And you can call me Jazz. No, I think what my cousin said was 4 books since high school.
That is
You're not in
correct.
that group.
Yeah.
You can call me Jazz. You would no, you are not in that group. I'm pretty sure that you read more than 4 books since high school.
Right.
You ain't in that group. He said on average, not 4 books a year. Four
Right.
books since high school.
That is correct. The average, they said the average American has only read 4 books since graduating from high school. Now I got to find out where I got that statistic from, because that thing had me laughing. So I was like, but it explains so
Oh,
much to me though, because trying to have a conversation with these people today, man, you're like, do you even read? It's like, what are you talking about? And then like, oh, I'll give you a good example. You're a YouTuber. Watch this now. You're gonna learn this. People will come and they won't even watch your video in the completion. They'll just see the title and start commenting. I mean, like, you didn't even watch the video. What is you talk? And like, I had to tell this man this morning, I was like, sir, the very point you're making on this comment, I talked about it in the video. What are you saying, dude?
same thing happened when you be live. They come in and they say something. I said, okay, so I know you only heard one word about what I said. You didn't hear the beginning. So therefore you're totally lost. Instead of exercising some type of patience and sitting and waiting to see what I'm talking about, you want to just blurt stuff out.
Right.
So yeah, people's impatient.
Well, people also need therapy. And I hate to say this. No, I'm for real. No, you laughing, but I'm really serious. I don't even mean that in a derogatory place, because I'm somebody who's been to a couple of therapy sessions, and I honestly think it's really good, and everybody should be going to therapy. And the reason why I say that is because therapy helps you to critically assess situations and see it from a different vantage point and give articulation to certain things that you've gone through that you might have suppressed and not even been able to mentally and cognitively been able to understand, because most of us suffer from cognitive dissonance. And when I learned that, I was like, and that's like, for those of you that are coming by this video, when you have 2 concurrent streams running in your psyche, when you have 2 concurrent thoughts, on the one hand, you believe one thing, and on the other hand, you believe another thing, and none of those things are interwoven with each other so that it can bring you to a resolve or understanding, you're suffering from cognitive dissonance. And that's why your whole life is, sometimes can be in such a disarray, because you're crazy, for a lack of a better word. You got too much going on mentally. And I think there's a lot of crazy people in the world.
I absolutely support therapy. I absolutely support regression energy. Like, if you really, really, really need to really see some things that is in your subconscious that you don't understand, what you've held, some of the trauma that you have, you wouldn't even believe that you actually still hold it on you. And I support therapy, and I also, like I said, I support getting some regression energy therapy too, because it works as far as I'm concerned. It really does. It really, really, really makes you see some things and know some things that you really don't even know you holding on to that stuff. You really don't. And you don't even really know that it bothers you. And when I was talking about my whole father thing the other day, that was one of the things I had to, like, I never even had no father. My mom never brought one around me, so I really never took a look at, whether or not it was, but it was something that was actually subconsciously bothering me. The particular love of that missing entity. And it came out, and when it came out, it felt genuine. So at the end of the day, I absolutely know that it does work, and you can really feel that you're holding on to something that is 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old person.
And you know what they call that in therapy? They say a lot of times when you're suffering from stuff like that, you do what's called trauma bonding.
Yeah, you will trauma bond. You would trauma bond.
Yeah.
And so I do absolutely mad church disease. I laughed a little bit, but it was not because of what you said, it was the way you said it. But yeah, people, we do need therapy, and it is a good thing to seek therapy. And if you are part of the church,
you really need therapy. You really need therapy if you're in church.
Talk to the pastor all the time. Talk to somebody else.
Trust me, I know. You need to go. You need to go to. You need to go to therapy tomorrow if you in the church.
Talk to somebody else, because the pastor, you know, the one that sometimes is available or sometimes too available. Y'all know what I mean out there. No, just go to somebody else. Talk to somebody else.
No,
talk
you
to
need
somebody
a license.
You can treat them like they the bartender. You ain't never got to see him again.
Well, license and credential. You don't want
license and credential. Yeah,
Dr. Bryant. You want somebody who has a license and credential. I'm so sick of these people.
What did she do though? What did she do to herself, Marcellus? How do you do that to yourself? How do you get on live on the intranet and basically tell all these people that you a fraud?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what it is. America has this mentality that you have to get rich or die trying. You have to look a certain way, have a certain aesthetic so that you can make money and appear to be one thing to the public when in your life is something else. When this woman had everything at her arsenal to go get their credentials, to actually go get it, because she's making money, she's writing books. She could have done it. She was on shows that were, syndicated. So she could have went and gotten the very degrees that she was on television representing. You understand? So there's no excuse for someone.
She didn't even get tricked into the question for me, like the how she got outed.
Right.
She just had diarrhea.
Well, and I mean, but it's the way she responded. First of all, you don't get aggressive with a person when they're asking you a question about degrees that you claim you have.
That wasn't the first interview where she told everybody though?
Which one you talking about?
It was with those guys. That she outed herself.
Oh, you talking about the one with what's his name? I used to watch him all the time. Joe Budden?
Yes, that's what she outed herself. She did that to herself.
Yeah, well.
Then she started getting defensive because everybody heard what she said.
Well, I don't know if it's just the male ego in me or what, but I just feel like this was a chick who was trying to snag a sponsor. She was looking for a rich man that could, take care of her, et cetera, because it's nothing about how she carried herself said doctor. I'm just saying, as a man, I'm sorry. Okay. Nothing about how she carried herself said doctor. She would not have elicited any sort of respect from me. No way how she carries it. You doing interviews. Well, let me hush, because this conversation will go somewhere totally different. But I can't, not with that chick. Sorry. You doctor all right.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh, well, everybody, we have been on here for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And we
shout out to all y'all in the chat.
Shout out to y'all in the chat, or not in the chat no more, but we had a great day. We really did. And tomorrow, y'all think y'all sleeping on me right now, but when I blow up, I'm gonna block all y'all.
That's because y'all need to hit the like button. Hit the like button if you haven't done it. As a matter of fact, let me go check these likes before we get out of here.
We have 0 likes.
You're kidding. How is that even possible? Come on,
everybody. We don't have 0 likes. We don't.
Hold on, let me go over here. No, I'm going to look for sure now. I really am. I'm checking because I don't play that game. Hold on, let's go over here.
We had 6 likes.
Okay, no, okay, because it's okay. You see 6 because my thing just said 3. So y'all getting there before. Let me refresh one more time. Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to hit the like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, somebody done. Okay, I see 3 again. What are y'all doing? Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna live with the 3 because according to this,
we got 4.
Okay. I'm gonna live with that. And if you're coming by this replay, please hit the like button. And by the way, if you have an opportunity to hype this video, make sure you hype this video and get this video out to as many people as you can. So support this channel. We're gonna be having great conversations. So y'all make sure y'all come by. And this is just the start. But before we get out of here, I got a question. Because the thing you sent to me yesterday, you said you didn't have access to something. What didn't you have access to in the community? I forgot.
The round tables. It's a lock on it, and when I click on it, it won't let me. Well, I can get into the round tables, but any of the information to how to, that the stuff you previously did,
right?
There's a lock on there.
Are you talking about the videos or the
the
or
anything? If you, I can't read nothing. I can't.
Okay,
when I click on it, it don't let me read because one of them is read only.
I don't know how that could be. Were you on your phone or were you on your laptop?
I was on my laptop because that's where I ended up getting on.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll try to see if I can fix it because I'm gonna be up late tonight. I got a lot of work to do.
Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, because that's a webinar, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's a webinar.
Okay, so I'll be on that one tomorrow. You could fix the stuff that
I teach 2 classes on Saturday. We have one at 11 and then one at 1. And the one at the one at 1:30 is the YouTube stuff. That's where you can come and ask me all your questions for YouTube and all that other stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm down for that. And we are on Journey Talks tomorrow, you guys, at 3:30. I think 3:30 Journey Talks. We're going to be talking about embracing your experiences. They can be rough, but there's a golden string in every cloud. Be optimistic.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Amen. Amen. I'm trying to stay in that mindset. I ain't lying.
Well, we're going to keep you in that mindset, cousin, because you know what? We're an abundant source of everything, and we are rich.
I know that's right. And getting richer.
Bye, y'all. Thank you, Mad Church Disease, for coming and lending your expertise and being a part of the show. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.